Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very humbling experience for me to speak to this august gathering today, and I'm grateful to India Today Conclave for inviting me to speak on the topic Bright Young Things Business, How to Power India's Future. 20 years from now, we will be more disappointed by the things that we didn't do than by the ones we did. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbors, catch the trade winds in your sail. Explore, dream, discover. We must fall in love with what we do, because being an entrepreneur is a lot of hard work and overcoming a lot of adversity. From that love will come the dedication that will get us out of bed at 4 a.m. because of a great idea we had and get to work till 11 p.m. and not feel tired. Let me tell you a short story of my personal experience. In 1994, team of Adani Group went to Mundra, which was barren land in Kutch, to build a port. In 1995, we started construction at Mundra Port. 1998, we started operations at Mundra. 2002, Mundra was connected to the Indian Railways network, first 63 kilometers railway line to be constructed by a private player in India. 2011, we commissioned world's largest coal import terminal in Mundra. 2012, Mundra became the fourth largest port in India with 65 million tons of handling. 2013, Mundra right now is the second largest port in India with 80 million tons of handling. In this journey of 19 years, starting from zero, we have been able to achieve a top line of 2,500 crores, EBITDA of 1,500 crores, and a market cap of 30,000 crores. This is entrepreneurship. When we went to Mundra in 1994, we did not have the vision or the planning to build one of the largest and most advanced port in the country. According to me, entrepreneurship is not only about vision and planning. From what I've observed, entrepreneurship is more about hard work, thinking big, risk-taking, perseverance, bias for implementation, common and commercial sense, people, teamwork, most important, exploiting your own and others' full potential, respecting and never forgetting the past, being creative and having out-of-box thinking, finding opportunity in everything and everywhere, ability to listen and learn, and making organization its parivar. Bias for implementation, I believe, is the core of being an entrepreneur, whether it is implementing a port or a power plant or a manufacturing unit or building a school for underprivileged. The pleasure of implementing an idea and making sure that it becomes a reality and a success is what drives an entrepreneur, and that is where they derive absolute pleasure. Today's youth is probably losing out that cutting edge of implementation. I wish our young generation and youth would not forget that the smallest implemented idea is far more valuable than the thought that remains in mind. As a country, we have done exceeding well in the areas of information technology and communication. Probably these sectors are the biggest job creators in the recent times. However, sometimes I feel that it is also impacting the young generation's ability to work hard for creating core infrastructure, be it roads, bridges, power plants, airports, seaports, etc. For any country's sustainability and growth, core infrastructure is most important, as it facilitates and supports other sectors like manufacturing, service, and agriculture. Without infrastructure in place, we will not be able to grow what we dream of. The youth needs a sense of purpose and ownership with the country. By working in these core sectors, they are putting nation before self. Thus, a country we need to have the policy supporting the infrastructure growth, and young generation must look at these sectors to make sure that the solid steps are taken towards building strong and developed country. The journey will be slow but real, and I'm pretty sure that there is no shortcut to this. If India wants to achieve status of superpower in coming years, I believe that there are 5 areas that we need to concentrate on. 1, core infrastructure. We need to have the best-in-class seaports, airports, roads, cities, housing, This will not only boost the economy, but will also help in supporting other sectors. By reducing our logistics cost and having access to cheap and uninterrupted power, we will be able to make products which will not only be cost competitive in local market, but also in global market. This will give our country a big economic boost. Agriculture, more than 50% of our population is still engaged in agriculture. We need to make these sectors more professional and organized in order to get higher productivity and to make them more profitable. There needs to be drastic change in how we do farming. Modern and scientific way of farming needs to be practiced, and we need to find immediate solutions of storage of grains. More R&D needs to be done in farming sector so that our yield per acre increases and matches other countries. Our land laws needs to be amended for large-scale corporate farming. Manufacturing, we need to support small-scale industries to create employment in every region and increase the domestic production. We have all the advantages as compared to China. In fact, we are better in terms of banking system, legal system, and we have more English-speaking young people in the country. We must take full advantage of this. Number 4, being research and development. We as a country need to develop our capabilities in research and development, whether it is creating new medicine or building a warplane or more sophisticated crane. In this day and age, knowledge and technology is power. And number 5, being social infrastructure. The growth has to be inclusive. Our biggest problem is primary education, primary healthcare, last mile connectivity for roads, drainage, power, and waste management. We have to come out with very innovative solution to implement these projects, especially in rural areas. As part of a business family, I understand the advantages of platform that I've got. However, I also understand my responsibility. What has been created must grow. In that context, I believe that inheritance gives you the natural advantage on certain issues, like instincts, business acumen, and risk-taking. But it's not sustainable if we are not able to stand on our own feet on merits. Be it right exposure, experience, maturity, global perspective, local issues, people skills, and above all, common sense. At the end of the day, the criterion for inheritance for a business leader should be competence and capability of enhancing the value of the stakeholders. I would summarize by saying, focus on opportunities, not on what you cannot change. Focus on what you can do and take responsibility. There's power in responsibility. Entrepreneurship is all about productivity, opportunity, risk-taking ability, and search for possibilities. And finally, I would like to see a more passionate and aggressive India. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karan. Can I please request Mr. Puri to give a small token of appreciation to the speaker? One question, but very quickly. I'm sorry, completely out of time. Can we have the mic here, please?
Yeah, I'll repeat my question. You are very big in special economic zones, and more than 2 lakh crore rupees have been invested all over India in the special economic zones, but people are either moving away and getting denotified because of the imposition of minimum alternate tax and dividend distribution tax. What do you think going forward would be the fate of this investment where, India's total export 30% comes from the SEZ?
I think what needs to happen is that the government needs to give a policy which is constant. They keep on changing their stance, and that's why investment has not grown and has not been able to continue the way it is. So I think the industry can sustain all of this. But as long as government keeps their stand constant, if the stand keeps on flip-flopping, the policy keeps on changing, if there's no clarity, nobody's going to make that investment. So end of it is just about having that clarity, what you're getting into. If you know exactly what you're getting into, there obviously there are going to be some sectors which are going to make sense for them, certain sectors which are not going to make sense. So you just have to be very clear on what government needs to clear out all the points. They don't need to keep on flip-flopping on that.
Thanks. Mr. Puri, can I please request you on stage?